Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I got my hands on the Kuretake, the Japanese watercolor Art Nouveau set. It was back in stock for a hot second on Amazon, and I just checked by chance. And I every now and then I would go in to see if it was available, but it had always been sold out previously, and I finally got my hands on it. I checked at the moment and it's gone again on Amazon. You might get lucky on the Blick website, but if you are, unlucky, don't despair. It will come back at some point. I think I waited about 6 months for it to come back. But I thought I would open it up and swatch it on camera. I am not doing anything new. Lots of artists that have this set have done this before. So, if you want to skip to the part where we actually do a little bit of art, go ahead and do that. I will place the timestamp somewhere here and then you can skip forward. But if you do want to watch me how I swatch this, you are more than welcome to stay. So let me open this up. And then let's have a quick look at all the colors. When I'm looking at these colors, they're very muted and kind of fall. I love all these pinks that they put in and the blues. I love this one, reminds me a little bit of Wedgwood blue. And then the only color that is a little bit off, some thought, was this bright orange one, which is the vermilion. If it's too pink, or not pink, orange, orange. If it's too orange for you, you can easily mute it with some of these colors. And I'm curious to see what kind of muting we can do with this. But frankly, I kind of like that they included this. Also, when you open it up, you can swatch your colors right in the lid, which I think is great. The bigger set, the 48 set, has an extra sheet of paper. Let me show you. I recently reorganized my studio and I now have all of my watercolors in one place and I can easily find it. I'm so happy about this. So this one comes with an extra piece of paper, the big one. But as you can see, I also swatched it in the lid. And most likely you're gonna keep the lid on top, so you always have the swatches with you. So I think that's a great idea. All right, I feel that these colors would be great for upcoming fall. Obviously you can use them whenever, but it screams fall to me. So what I like to do in the beginning, before I even start with them, I like to spray them with a little bit of water. I'm gonna put this, I already prepped my paper, but I'm gonna put it away for a second. We don't need it just yet. I like to get them wet and have the colors activating this way so that they can start to dissolve and get ready to be painted with. I need to go grab some water and a towel, and then I will be right back and then we can start swatching. All right, I have my water and I just wanted to show you real quick now that I've sprayed the pans down. You can see that it's starting to activate. I'm just gonna use a little bit more water. All right. Okay, let's see. I use a tiny brush because there's not a lot of space on here. So I want to put a little bit of little bit more pigment up top, and then I'm gonna dilute it with just a little bit of water and bring it down, just so I can see, you know, how it looks when it's not so concentrated. Also, just pick up very little of this paint. It's so nicely pigmented. And I tend to use too much of it, which is really not necessary. So that's the saffron yellow, the green gold. 401 is flax beige. That's this guy. Great little stone color. And then next we have ecru beige. And then next is the pale pink, and I think this one is in that 48. The 48 set. This one looks familiar. This one looks fun. It's a little bit more red, a little bit more orange. Okay. Then we have Potter's Pink. Looks like a blush. I'm gonna bring you in just a little bit here. Whoa, yeah, baby. That is very, very, very bright. I can see where people are a little put off by it, but look how beautiful. Eee. Look how pretty this is. All right. Next up, we have Alizarin Crimson. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Oh, so pretty. I wonder if this set would also work great with the what is it called? I will show you in a second here. Hold on. I wonder if it would work, these colors would work great with the graphite colors. Because they're also kind of muted and a little dark and broody. I think I want to try that one of these days. Anyway, this was Mauve Taupe, and then we have Old Mauve coming up. Grayish Blue. Then we have Cobalt Turquoise Light, which is this guy right here. For those of you who don't know what these Kuretake watercolors are, I'm by no means an expert, but what I have other people heard say, and from my own experience, is like they are very creamy and they are almost like gouache. I don't really have a lot of experience working with gouache, so I am not a good person to be asked about it. But gouache tends to be more opaque, and so are these colors. Once you add quite a bit of water to it, though, they do act very nicely, just like watercolors. So you can use them both ways. I don't know if they're light fast. It doesn't say, unless it says it in the Japanese, which I don't know how to read. So I'm not sure if these are light fast. I would assume no, but again, I'm not an expert in light fastness of watercolors and other paints. I'm new to art, and you know, all the different paints that are out there. So honestly, I only just learned about light fastness and how to you know, how to find it on tubes and things like that. So there is a lot of great YouTubers out there that will tell you all about what light fastness is and how it works and how to read it on the tubes that the colors come in and so forth. So I encourage you to do a quick search and find out from someone that's more experienced than me. Love this color. All right, so we have cobalt turquoise light, the pale aqua, cobalt green, billiard green, shadow green, and pea green here, which is more like an avocado green to me. And then next up is ivy green. Then we have green gray. That looks like a nice woodsy kind of green. And next up we have beige gray. Oops, that's a lot of water. And then yellow brown. It's a lot of water on my brush. Yellow brown. That could look fun with some yellow. Like if you mix those up top up with this one, that would make a nice little palette. I'm dripping all over the place here. Mars yellow is next, and that to me almost looks like a burnt sienna, doesn't it? Nice little pumpkin-y color. Oh yeah. And last up, Venetian red. Wow, it looks like a dark brown here. Let's see what it looks like when we lighten that up. Yeah. Imagine, you know, mixing these two, the vermilion and this one. Fun, fun. All right. So, let me have a quick look here. Already mucking it up. Look how beautiful these colors are. And naturally, you know, I want to use them all at once, but we're not going to do that. We are just going to make a tough decision of what to use. I don't know. Make a decision, B. Make a decision. Well, we're just gonna jump in and see what comes out of it. Just watch and see what happens, I guess. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put down some water on my paper here. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right, my feeling is saying I want to use the first one, the saffron yellow, which is this little dude here. We're just gonna put down some colors. How about that? Put down some color. And see what happens. What will work well with the pink? Maybe, oh, let's see how if I mix the pink, did I say pink? What works well with the yellow? If I use this cobalt turquoise here, let's see what happens when those two mingle. Would you like to dance? They dance quite nicely. Let's bring in the vermilion, why don't we? So beautiful. Sometimes it's fun to mix the colors when you're not sure what will happen, just to see what the outcome is going to be. Maybe I'll brighten this green up a little bit with this avocado green, light green. All right, I'm gonna bring in a little bit more of that saffron yellow, because I now realize that this green is not really the direction I wanted to go with. But we're not creating a masterpiece today, we're just playing around. All right. I also want a little bit more of that blue. And, you know, if you've worked with watercolors before, you will know this, but if someone's new to watercolors, then you might not know that watercolors tend to dry much, much lighter than what you put on the paper. Honestly, you guys, look at this. I love what's happening here. And I also love what's happening here. So don't be afraid to use that vermilion, you guys. It's a great little pop of color. And I'm glad I used a little bit more of that saffron yellow in the green. Because it was bringing me down a little bit. And we're here to have fun and not to be brought down by a color. What else can I do? Let's bring in a little bit more light blue. That does not show up, does it? A little bit more light blue. Or maybe this green gold. No. I think I want a little bit more of that yellow. That saffron yellow, man. Very, very pretty. Let me put a little bit more yellow up here in the sky. Gorgeous. It needs a little bit more yellow in this. I'm gonna mop this green up a little bit and plop some more yellow in here. Was that an oopsie? Yes. Am I worried about it? Not in the slightest. All right. Oops. A teensy little bit more of that gorgeous vermilion up here. And in here, and up here, and down here. I think these two mingle very nicely together. Which one is that? The green gold? Or, yeah, I think it's the green gold. All right. I make sure my brush is completely rinsed. And then I think we're gonna let this dry. Listen, those are not the colors I thought I was going to use. But hey, we'll make it work. I don't know yet what we're gonna do once this is dry. I'm gonna let it dry and then see what happens. There's some really cool stuff happening here and over here. So I'm sure we can come up with something really fun. All right, I will be back once this is dry. As I was watching the footage back, I realized I didn't talk at all while I was starting to put my lines down and then doodling on it. So I decided I would come in and do a quick voiceover for you. I'm not going to talk you through the whole thing, and I'm just going to let you watch the doodling process in peace. I feel like I have chatted enough for today. So I hope that's okay. But basically what I did was, because this piece had so many different areas of interest and so many splotches of color, it was pretty easy for me to find things to outline. And I like to go in first with a thinner pen to outline some certain shapes, and then once I have those, like the main shapes, I will then go in and I start adding more and start overlapping them so that I can then round out the corners, which I then do basically all at once. So I outline and then I immediately go in and round out my corners right away. That way I can kind of keep track of where I'm at and what has already been finished and what still needs to be finished. It's just a lot easier for me to keep track. And then once I have a few of those lines down, I just always keep checking the whole composition to see, you know, if there's something else I'd like to add. Normally, I wouldn't add so many black lines, but this one I felt like just was asking for it. And then this section down here, I call them lettuce leaves. They're kind of fun. I was thinking maybe I should put down my cobblestone style, but then they ended up kind of wavy, and so now they remind me of lettuce leaves or cabbage leaves, which I thought they were kind of cute. And I knew I wanted some of those. I usually do them straight lines, and then use the dots on top. And this time, because the other lines were a little wavy, I decided to do these lines a little bit wavy too. And then you saw me thinking, and I couldn't quite figure out what to do with this area. And the footage is a little blurry here, but it's because what I was drawing on wasn't exactly in the middle of my camera focus, so here it's getting a little bit better. So yeah, so I was twiddling my thumbs a little bit for this section and not really knowing what to do, and then I came up with these. They almost look like flower petals or something. You know, sometimes you just come up with a certain style and it doesn't really make sense, and that's the fun part about doing these. I am showing you my dotting tools per usual. I love them. If you've watched any of my most recent videos, they show up a lot lately, and right now they are my favorite tools, and I always have them listed down below. They're not exactly what I have. I've had these for years, and I just happened to come across them and realized that they were such a great tool to do dots, because I despise stippling with a pen. I cannot stand it. It's a little harsh, I know, but that's it just, I don't want to do it, even though I love the look, but I don't want to do it. And somehow, when I use the dotting tool and the acrylic paint, it's so much more enjoyable. Somebody explained that to me. I have no idea. This one here actually gave me an idea for a future project. I want to get into more, like, no, I wouldn't say sea creatures, but you know, like the sea urchin shells or regular shells, you know, stuff like that. Maybe even an octopus. I am fascinated by octopus. So yeah, that gave me an idea of something I could work on in the future, especially now that I outlined the black line a little bit more and gave it those bumps. It kind of reminds me of a sea urchin shell. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, so just find some interesting shapes. It doesn't have to make sense at all. And look for a composition, look for stuff that will balance the whole painting out. I also like thickening the lines and make them look more like ribbons lately, and that's what this reminded me of. And then as soon as I was done with that, it felt so retro for me, and I don't know, I couldn't explain it. It had just a whole, I don't know if it's the orange and the yellow and the green that kind of gives that retro feel, but yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, now I'm almost done, and I have chatted for a long time already. So I will come back at the end, and as we're looking at the piece when it's done, and I'll give you my final thoughts then. So for now, I'm gonna be quiet and let you finish watching. So here we are with the finished piece. have to say I'm in love with it. These are not colors I would have normally chosen. And so that just goes to show that even though you are working with a color scheme that you wouldn't normally pick, it can turn out quite amazing. I love the little dots up here. They remind me of like a starry sky. And then I brought him in on this side as well. It's just so cute. And my little cabbage leaves, look how beautiful they are. Well, you might hate them, but I love them. And then I rounded out the corners here a little bit because I felt like it needed a little bit more of a structure down there. And then it just, I don't know, it's retro, and it also reminds me of like a parrot or something. What do you think? I know most of you voted for the pink and purple one when I asked you which video you wanted to see first, but I couldn't wait until the end of the week to show you this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that my swatching wasn't too cumbersome to watch, and I just hope that you were able to fast forward to come to the good part. Anyway, also I wanted to quickly add that I have now a Patreon account, and I have 2 tiers at the moment. One is for $2 and the other one is for $4, and I'm not sure exactly if it's gonna stay like that. I explained everything in that first video in the $4 tier, but I also decided to have a $2 tier. Sometimes people just want to donate and support the channel in some way, and I want to give back, so you know that you get something in return. And I have finished a doodle piece. Let me go grab it real quick. Where is it? Okay, so for the $2 tier, what you're getting is a PDF download, and then if you choose, you can use this as a background for you to doodle on. Sometimes you just want a background to doodle on and you don't want to have to spend the time to create a background for yourself. So that is for the $2 tier. It's there for you to download, and then you can print it out. You can either print it out on watercolor paper or just regular paper, and then you can use this to doodle on. And I am planning on having one of these backgrounds per month, and so each month you're gonna get a different background. I chose the yellows and browns because as I mentioned in the $4 tier, when I actually then doodled this on top, I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to use colors that I don't normally use, and these are not colors I gravitate towards, so I found that it was a good challenge for me personally. But I promise that every single background that you get for the $2 tier, it will be different, so that you have a little bit of a variety. In the $4 tier, like I said, you will then get to see how I doodle over this one. So I haven't uploaded this video yet. I was gonna work on it today, but I had obligations and this video to finish, so it will be up shortly. But yeah, anyway, so if you just want to go and check it out, you can just see, if you're interested. I'm not asking you to sign up if you don't want to. It's whoever feels like they want a little bit extra, a little bit more, and everything is explained over there, so I don't take up any more time here. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. And I will see you probably Friday. You get 2 videos this week, so how fun is that? All right, take care everyone.